All right, this is Deanna Marie, and welcome back here to the Clue Seat. And today we're going to be talking about how sometimes you have to separate in order to receive your blessing. Okay, so let's get started. All right, today's Bible reference is going to be Genesis chapter 13, verse 17. So you guys know how I am. Open up those Bibles, get in the Word, and let God speak to you what He wants to speak to you about. Pray and open up the lines of communication. Okay, that being said, sometimes God cannot fully give you everything that He wants for you to have because you are surrounded by people that the enemy is using to either distract you, to take away from the blessing, or just to keep you from following God's path completely. So until that is removed or that is separated, God can't give you everything that He wants to give you because that other person might take everything from you, steal all of the blessings that God wants to give you. So he's kind of on a holding pattern where he can't do that until that person separates. So if you look at like Genesis chapter 13, right? Lot and Abraham, you look at that whole situation. Lot was Abraham's nephew, right? And Abraham gets this great word from God and he's like, go to this new land. I'm going to give it to you. I will bless you. I'm going to make you a great nation. I'm going to make your name great. And he gives him all of those things, right? Abraham, probably wanting to be generous and, share, brings his nephew Lot and Lot's wife, right? So they go on and they go over here and they're all dwelling in the land that God tells them to. And finally it gets to a point where there's so much strife, there's so much disagreement that it comes to like a head and they have to end up separating, right? Sometimes in your life, you're looking at like, man, why is there strife here? Why is there animosity here? And why is this going on? Sometimes God will put that there or He'll allow it because there needs to be a separation. Abraham needed to have that land. But if he continued to let Lot walk with him, Lot was going to continue to, take, and live off of Abraham and stuff like that. And maybe that's not what God wants for you. Maybe God has a blessing and some specific stuff for you. He doesn't want other people using you for that stuff. He doesn't want you surrounded by people that are just hanging out with you because of your blessing, right? No, Abraham had to learn how to stand on his own because the blessing was given to him. His name was going to be great. He was getting the land. He was going to be famous. He was going to be a father of many. That was his blessing. Lot was just over there siphoning off of that. But that was something special. That was a covenant between Abraham and God. God did not make it between Abraham and then Lot over here too. No, He said, Abraham, I need you to go do this. And once Lot looks out and he picks the land that he wants to go to, he's deceived and he's like, oh, this looks pretty over here. And he goes to like the most wicked city that was around back then. Once that separation takes place, things start happening. Things start happening very quickly. All of a sudden, Abraham goes from, having no kids to, eventually Sarah has the kid. God starts communicating with him about, I promise I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This is the land. Walk throughout it. Enjoy it. Stuff like that. He makes sure that Abraham just builds up wealth, more. That's what ends up happening as soon as Lot steps out of the situation. Now, it was happening a little bit beforehand, but God's able to bless abundantly and make that overflow come into place because there's nobody else that's taking from it. Just like Jacob, right? Jacob had a wicked father-in-law, right? That was stealing from him and taking this and switching wages and doing all kinds of other things, swapping out daughters and saying, oh, now you have to stay here longer, right? As soon as Jacob leaves, God says, all right, blessings on overdrive, right? He becomes wealthy. He becomes all of this stuff, but some of that stuff, God can't do it. He won't do it when the enemy has people strategically placed in your life just to feed off of that. God does not bless evil wickedness. So sometimes people that are like that, they can't get the blessing themselves because their behavior is like they're working with the enemy. So they don't have a blessing. They don't get stuff like God gives you and stuff like that. So they got to hang out with you because you're the one that's getting the blessings. You're the one that God blesses and stuff like that. So they're going to hang out, try to take from you and get whatever they can because they can't get it on their own. Instead of just going out there, being a good person, turning from their wicked ways. No, they don't. They're going to continue to do the wicked things that they're doing. And they're going to continue to use you. So don't get upset if God makes people leave your life, or if God says, hey, that's enough of that, or this situation is over here. Some of you guys have been through like divorces and stuff like that, and God had to separate you because your spouse was cheating or was being a despicable person over here, and all that stuff was going on. So God allowed the separation. He allowed the divorce and stuff like that because he doesn't want you to be treated like that. He doesn't want somebody to be like, cheating on you and stealing from you and doing this and doing that. That's not who he wants you to be with. He doesn't want you to be married to evil. He has somebody for you, but you can't get it until the person that isn't supposed to be there anymore gets removed. Same thing with a job. Sometimes you guys are hanging out and you're hanging out with certain employees. Remove the things that are evil and wicked so that God can bless you and no one can take from you or your blessing. Stop holding yourself back. Allow the separation sometimes, okay? So anyways, like, share, subscribe, and comment as always, and I will see you guys back here next time.